Hey guys, how you doing? It's that guy, and I'm here to talk about my thoughts on the Ant-Man and the Wasp movie. Now, anyone who knows me knows I'm a massive Marvel fan. However, I don't know too much about Ant-Man. I looked him up, and it was very different to what the films had told me. So apparently in the comic books, Hank Pym is Ant-Man. He also created Ultron, which is also very different from the second Avengers film, if you saw that. In the films, however, it's Scott Lang who takes on the mantle of being Ant-Man. Hank Pym is in it, and he was the original Ant-Man, but he gives the job to Scott Lang, which is so he's still in it, but he's not as involved as he is in the comic books. So, if you saw this first film, it goes over that Hank, when he was Ant-Man, also had his wife who was called Janet. That was Janet, what was her name? And she shrunk down to atomized levels to stop a bomb from exploding, and she got stuck in the quantum realm, and she can't get back. And in the first film, Scott Lang shrunk down to that size to go into quantum realm and managed to get back. So this movie is basically about Hank going back to save his wife, who's trapped in the quantum realm. So I'm going to discuss the film now. So if you don't want spoilers, if you haven't seen it yet, go and see it. Then come back to me at this point. Right. The film starts off with Scott playing with his little kid, and they've created like this little adventure thing with like fake ants, fake plastic ants around these little tunnels they're crawling through to get to this treasure. And it turns out this treasure is a trophy saying "World's Best Grandma," which his daughter brought for her dad, which I thought was quite humorous. And you find out that he's actually under house arrest and can't leave, which is why he was in the Infinity War. But you know, neither was Hawkeye. But you know, fuck Hawkeye. Who cares about him, right? But yeah, he's under house arrest because of what happened in Civil War. There was some big hero fight, and because he broke some sort of convention thing, he is under house arrest. So he's got a tag on his leg, so he can't leave. So when they're playing around, him and his kid, his leg accidentally busts through the fence and his tag goes off. So the agents come round and they say one more mistake and you're going straight back to prison. And then later that night, he has a dream about walking through this house and finding a younger version of Janet, who was Hank's daughter. No, that's his wife. Hang on a minute. Sorry, Hope. Hope's his daughter. He has a version of playing hide and seek with a younger version of Hope. And then when he wakes up, he finds his phone he's hidden away and calls up Hank, saying, "Oh, I don't know if this is still your number. I just had this weird dream, and I'll now say it out loud. I don't really think it's worth bothering you." And he hangs up. Then later on, that next day, he gets kidnapped by Hank and Hope, and they're saying like, because he was in the quantum realm, he's got some sort of telepathic link to Janet, Hank's wife. So they are going to make this deal with this gangster guy who sells stuff on the black market. His name is Sonny Birch, or yeah, Sonny Birch, I think. And basically, they go to buy this thing, and he suddenly thinks that he can make a profit out of Hank's technology. So he tries to double cross Hope, who does the transaction. And then she turns into the wasp, kicks everyone's ass. But meanwhile, outside, there's Scott and there's Hank. And Scott sees what's going on, goes to help Hope. And then my favourite villain of this actually is Ghost. She turns up and she goes to the van and like puts her hand through Hank's neck and like grabs his throat from inside and steals Hank's lab. Now, I don't think it's a huge lab. No, it actually shrinks down to a briefcase. So he takes away the briefcase and then they have to go and find it, but they have trouble. So they go and see Hank's old friend who used to work with him, well, friend who used to work with him until he fired him, apparently, called Bill Foster, who's also agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. And he tells him, oh, we can probably track it by using some sort of radiation signature or some sort. And so he tracks it down and he finds a lab. And he finds out that also Bill Foster is also working with the Ghost. And you find out that apparently her Ghost's father used to work with Hank as well before he fired him. But he was continuing to work on his research, and it killed him, his wife, and caused his daughter to have some sort of genetic problems where she can sort of phase through stuff, but it's not voluntary. And apparently this is causing her metabolism to fail, and it's killing her, and she has like, I don't know, a few weeks to live or something like that. So Ghost says her name is Ava Starr, and her father used to work for Hank, and he's the reason he's dead. And she needs to get access to the quantum realm to help her stabilize her metabolism. And Hank wants to get into the quantum realm to save his wife, and Sonny Butch is still after them, trying to get his hands on Hank's tech. So you got basically Hank Pym fakes a heart attack, and he asks for his pills in this little mint box. So yeah, this box gets opened by Bill Foster, and these huge giant ass ants come out and put him in the corner. And so then Hank takes the lab back, and then he starts looking for his wife, and because Scott Lang has connection with the quantum realm, he asks him if he can feel anything. He's standing there for a while, goes, no, I can't feel anything. Then suddenly Janet takes over his body and types in all his coordinates and say, oh, I know you get there, just need a little help. Starts stroking Hank's face and then holds his hand. Then suddenly Scott Lang wakes up again. He's like, nope, sorry, I can't hear anything. And he looks and why is it? How do I get here? Why am I holding your hand? And so they plan to go to the quantum realm, but Hank decides that he's the one to do it because it's his wife. So he gets all set up and everything. He's got this little transporting machine, and they've got a time limit of about 2 hours to get there. And then all this stuff goes down. Like Ghost comes in, starts trying to take control of the lab, and then the gangster Sonny comes in and he's trying to take the tech and grabs the suitcase which the lab has been shrunk down again, and he goes on this boat to try and take it away. And meanwhile Hank's going through the quantum realm to find his wife, and whilst Sonny's taking his suitcase on a boat, and Scott goes and finds him. He dives into water and grows like, I don't know, 70 feet big, and he grabs the suitcase back and brings it back, and then he goes back inside the lab when they increase its size again, and meanwhile Hank's found his wife, but suddenly there's this ghost is connecting herself to the quantum realm, and Janet, it can feel that she's trying to drain her power or something like that, and finally they get out, and Janet goes up to Ghost and touches the sides of her head to heal her. Apparently, she can stabilize her metabolism, so she won't have to die, which I thought was pretty good of her, since she was trying to kill her and all that. Now, then it goes to the end credits, and Hank and his wife Janet and daughter Hope are standing outside this machine, and they've sent Scott Lang into the quantum realm to get some particles or something like that to help with ghosts, because apparently she's not completely cured, but she needs some of this quantum realm, I don't know, juice to help her. And so he's in there, and he gets this juice, and he says, "Okay, I'm ready to come out now." And there's no answer. He asks again, and you see outside where they were standing, and they've disintegrated. Because this happens during Infinity War, and where Thanos snaps his fingers in Infinity War, everyone, or a certain amount of people disintegrate, and they've obviously disintegrated. I think this would have been better if it was done before Infinity War. So one that you see that they're gone and there's this like dust where they disintegrated, everyone would think like, what's happening? Oh my god! And they would have gone to see Infinity War, and of course that's what happened. Then you get the end credits thing where it goes, Ant-Man and the Wasp will return, then the question mark afterwards, because Scott's trapped in the quantum realm, and there's no one there to help him get out. And that is pretty much the whole film. I mean, there was a few good bits I've missed out, like Hank Pym has his Hot Wheels, like, you know, in the old, I don't know if you're old enough for this, but back in the old days, used to have this carry case of a tyre. You open it, it's got all these Hot Wheels in, and Hank's got one of them. It's filled with Hot Wheels, but the actual cars just been shrunk down, and you can increase their size. This massive car chase where Janet and Scott Hope and Scott are driving around this Hot Wheels car, and they're going underneath the other cars and increasing size and knocking them in the air, and it's a pretty good film. I absolutely enjoyed it. I highly recommend you go and see it, or wait till it's out on DVD, which won't be too long, and buy it. Now, next film on my list, I believe, is one I've actually been looking for since I heard it was going to be released. Venom. I mean, they screwed up in that film that I will not mention. I'll just say there was a dancing Peter Parker in it. We don't mention that film. That doesn't exist, in my opinion. But this film, Venom, looks absolutely amazing, and I can't wait for it to come out. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.